So all this stress and all that sort of thing with human evolution, it's all there for a reason. So if you live in a particular country where something negative's happening, you know, like say wars or something like that. Here's a good example. I've got a client. It's not a client, it's a story. Friend of mine, her mother, not her mother, her grandmother is in Holland, and it's World War II, and they're Dutch, they're Jewish, right? Now, they're hiding under a house on a farm, and they're in the basement. Now, often in these sorts of situations, the SS, which are these, and part of the German army who would look for Jews and kill them, would come to this house and look to see if they were hiding the Jewish people. And these people were living in the basement, and they could hear when the SS were coming. It's like that scene at the start of Inglourious Basterds, and they're hiding, right? And so basically, when SS come, you're telling your body, like, this is it, we're going to die, right? But each time the SS would come, they wouldn't find them, and they're just down there going, oh my God. And this will be compounding. Compounding is more on top of more on top of more stress and more. Okay? So each time the SS come, you're just like totally losing your mind. And then the war ends, and you get out of the basement, and you're like, wow, didn't think I was going to survive that. And you go off and do your thing, and then you have kids, and then those kids have grandkids. And it's very interesting because this effect of that stress changes the genetics and changes your children, and then changes your children's children. And that gets really far out, because sometimes we're suffering from emotional responses which happen to grandma, not to us. And that can get really, really complicated. So there's a guy called Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, and he has a concept he talks about called the morphogenic field. And the morphogenic field is this whole concept that our families, or a species, there's different kind of layers to these fields, but let's talk about family. Your family has a field of consciousness. And let's say you know this thing happened to your grandmother, and you let it go, you heal it. Or you kind of work with the fractal memory of your grandmother, which is in your body's cells. All that memory's there. And you alleviate that, or you clear that into quantum reality, which we'll talk about in the next workshop. When you heal that, you heal the whole family. Forward and backwards in time. A field like that is non-local. You're healing your grandmother who might be gone. You're healing your mum, say the daughter of your grandmother, and you're healing yourself. And you're healing your epigenetic expression for children you might not have had yet.
What about the children you have had?
It helps them too. It's everyone. It's everyone. That's the amazing, far-out thing about it, is sometimes when people deal with these issues on the genetic line, in these types of healing modalities, they notice changes in their whole family who might not even know they had a treatment.
Like siblings and aunts and uncles as well.
That's right. This year has been a very recurring theme. Some of the largest issues for clients have been things that have more happened to their parents or grandparents that have been affecting them. So, here's a kind of trait. So let's say that when you're in a dark space that's not very big, this would be the granddaughter of the woman in Holland. She's feeling a lot of anxious and anxiety and like stress. So that means that the frequency of a space or place or smell can bring up the emotions in your genetic line. So a really good experiment that happened in Switzerland a little while ago can show this. If you get a rat and put him in a maze and he's cruising around and he walks past a little part of the maze and he smells some cinnamon. He goes, cinnamon, cool. Keeps walking, and then he gets a electric shock. He goes, electric shock, he gets freaked out. Pull him out of the maze, put him somewhere, chill. You breed that rat, okay? Then you get the new generation of rat, okay? You put the new generation of rat in the maze, it's walking along, no, it smells the cinnamon, stops. It knows through association, through the epigenetics, that the frequency of the smell of cinnamon means danger. One generation. One generation, the gene expression can change and reprogram. So when we're talking about defensive mechanisms and traumas, a lot of us are actually, on a nervous system level, still suffering from the effects of World War II and Vietnam. Yeah, and that's nuts. I mean, had a client who's someone in their family got shot and not killed in Vietnam, and this was actually causing a lot of issues in their body. They weren't even there. But this is the whole epigenetic and morphogenic field of consciousness is creating a reality where we are exchanging information. A good example, I think, is a bird called, it's called a blue tit, and it's this is one of the experiments that they do with morphogenics. And all over Europe, the milk bottles used to have a little foil. Someone might remember this little foil top, right? And you pop the foil top and you pull it up. Underneath the foil top, because the milk wasn't homogenized at the time, the cream would go to the top. All right. And at some point, somewhere in Europe, I think it was in England, the blue tit somehow was looking at the metal and gone, and picked it and gone, oh, cream. Take the cream out, and then would come every day and eat the cream out of all of them. And at the same time, all of the birds in that species started doing it all over Europe. They weren't flying to France, and they weren't flying to Belgium and going, hey, we got this thing, we're doing it in England, everyone's doing it. It happened, yeah? So this is the morphogenic field of the species, sharing information. And this is the morphogenic field as well we're talking about as humanity. We're all sharing information. And one thing you could call this is the Akashic field of human consciousness, where basically we can upload and download to ourselves information, right? And it could be someone could have uploaded something 200 years ago about how to do like trigonometry real good, you know? And you could be like, and just have a realization, or just tune into that awareness, or tune into that person. And the crystals in your pineal gland, we'll talk about this in another workshop, are going to tune into that person's consciousness, or tune into that field, and they're going to resonate in such a way that you're going to download the information. Just like a radio transceiver, just like tuning into Bay FM, you're going to get that download. It's just all static until you tune the dial just right, and then the information will be exchanged between you and the field, or you and that person, non-locally, anywhere, any when. Yeah, it's like amazing. So just like the birds, they've done this in Sydney. They've got in some particular, like I think it's a family of rats, or just rats in general. They'll teach them some certain tricks, you know, and they know that let's say it took 5 days to teach them this thing. That then there'll be some mob in London, and they'll teach the rats the trick, but it only takes them a day, because the field of consciousness in those rats is all learning the same thing. Yeah? This is also why they think that a lot of things in history have been invented all at the same time. The printing press got invented all over the world at the same time. Gunpowder got invented all over the world at the same time. All these human inventions, it's all in David Wilcock's book, Source Code Investigations. There's a huge amount of data that all these human inventions that were just given to humanity at the same time by a field of awareness or consciousness. And these things were co-created all over the planet at the same time, just like the blue tit and the cream. So yeah, it's far out. So yeah, again brings us back to this kind of this evolution thing. If you're constantly like running away from lions, you know, your kids are going to be better at running away from lions than you. And you're going to keep upgrading your genetics to be stronger and faster, and to be able to deal with these things. And it's important to realize that these stress hormones are addictive. The other day I was at work. I hadn't had enough sleep. And it was kind of one of those mornings you wake up and you're like, feeling pretty tired. I'm going to feel tired all day. And you get to work and there's all these things happening. I work in a cafe. And there's all these things happening and you're like, whoa, I've got to do that and do that and do that. And your body goes, okay, stress. Boom. And it releases the chemicals. All of a sudden, you're feeling like light and your focus is really good. And you're feeling really good, right? Your body's just going, yeah, we'll just deal with it. And I'm feeling, well, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I had 5 hours sleep and I'm feeling good. You might be drinking coffee, which is going to increase that, increase your heart rate and do a whole bunch of other things. But it's kind of, some people say high on fatigue. You're not tired, you're feeling high. Because the stress chemicals are making you feel good and they're making you very agile, right? And everything's feeling good in your body. Maybe some pains in your legs have gone, but what's happening at the same time? You're turning your immunity off, right? You're turning your ability to regenerate. You're turning your ability off to basically have really healthy cells. All this stuff is turned off because your blood's in your limbs. And so at the end of that day, you might think, wow, I had a great day feeling stressed, and you go have a lie down, and all of a sudden you're sick, you've got a cold, you've got a flu, because you just turned your immunity off for the day. You know? And there's like one thing I heard today was, what's better than a flu shot? 10 minutes of gratitude. 10 minutes of gratitude and going, Wow, I did really good. Sit down at the end of the day. I did good today. That was hard. I was under stress. The stress is over now. I'm safe. Everything's okay. It's done. Graduated. Good job. And basically, you're just going to create a huge amount of chemicals in that 10 minutes that's going to fight off maybe that flu or that virus which is coming up. You know? So again, it's like these emotions toward yourself are what are going to boost your immune system, put the blood back into your viscera.